All right, welcome back. Today we're doing the second half of 7.6. We're talking about half angle formulas. I decided to split these up just so that we get comfortable with one and then have another day to get comfortable with the other. If not, I think it's just a lot of things to go over. So notice that each time here, our alpha is divided by 2. And then on the right side, these look very similar. So for sine, we have 1 minus cosine alpha over 2, the square root. For the cosine, it's almost the same except for we have a plus here. And then for our tangent, it's the 1 minus cosine alpha over 2 over 1 plus cosine alpha. All right, so it says use half angle formula to find cosine 15, sine 15, and tangent 15. So let's kind of look back at this one since we're dealing with cosine first. So we're doing cosine, and 15 is going to be 30 divided by 2. Now that's good because 30 is one of the angles on our unit circle where 15 is not. So we're going to represent 15 as 30 divided by 2. We're following this, so we're going to have positive negative square root of 1 plus cosine 30, right? Because our alpha is 30 divided by 2. Let's give ourselves some room here. So the cosine at 30 degrees is going to be radical 3 over 2. And then you guys can leave it like that. In the book, it might simplify it a little bit. And all they're doing is dividing the whole top by 2. So in the book, we might see 1/2 plus radical 3 over 4 square root. You might even see a different version, but this one is fine. Okay, the nice thing about this is the sign is going to be exactly the same. Except for we're going to have, instead of a plus, we're going to have a minus. 1 minus radical 3 over 2 over 2. And then we'd be done. And also for the tangent, we're going to be using the same values again. So we're going to have 1 minus radical 3 over 2 over 1 plus radical 3 over 2 square root. And then we'd be done. And again, the book might do a little bit more to simplify it, but we'll leave it like that and call it good. Okay, so just a little bit more practice. This time they're telling us that cosine is negative 3/5. It's saying that our alpha is between pi and 3 pi over 2. So if we draw that on our unit circle, pi is here, 3 pi over 2 is here. So we know we're working in quadrant 3. We can go ahead and draw our triangle out. Even though we don't really need it. Because for all these formulas, it's only asking for our cosine. If it gave us our sine, we'd have to solve it for cosine, but we already have it right here. They've given it to us. Okay, so for our sine, referring back to our formula, we have a minus. So 1 minus negative 3/5 over 2. In this case, because we don't have radicals, we could probably simplify it. It's up to you. So we have, let's change this 1 to 5 over 5. Minus negative is plus 3 over 5. So then 5/5 plus 3/5 is 8/5 over 2. And then remember, we can take the 8/5 and multiply by the reciprocal. And then we simplify the 8 and the 2. So we have square root 4/5 Same with the cosine. This time though, we're gonna have a plus, right? So we're gonna do cosine 1 plus -3/5 over 2. We're gonna do the same thing we did on the other side. We're gonna have 5/5 plus -3/5. 5 plus -3 is 2. And then when we multiply by the reciprocal again, we end up with 1/5 square root. Okay, so for those of us who want to see this complex fraction thing, numerator times the reciprocal of 2, the 2's will cancel and we end up with 1/5 in our radical. Okay, on to the last one. Tangent. Guess what for tangent though? We already found the sine and the cosine, so we just have to use the top part for each of them, right? So we have, after all that simplification, we don't need to go ahead and simplify it all over again. That would just make our work, that would give us more work. So we have 8/5 over 2/5. Again, we're not going to panic with our complex fraction. We're multiplying by the reciprocal of our denominator. Things are canceling. So we have positive negative radical 4, which is nice because then we end up with positive and -2. Okay, so that's it. We're only working on our half angle formulas today. Again, make sure that you have your notes taken down. If you have any questions, please write them down as well, and then we can talk about it next class. Good work today.